Constantino, pound for pound.
Talk about a win with Charlo, a win with Spence over Pacquiao also puts you in the race as trainer of the year.
Hey man, I don't even, that stuff. Yeah. I mean, it look at like this. That's every year. Nobody's been more consistent than me, right? But I think at the same time, it's like I do different. If you think about this, you can't judge a trainer of the year by winning fights, because everybody wins fights. Every trainer got fighters to win. But it's about the strategy and the game plan that tells about the significance of the situation. How Errol beat Danny Garcia. How Jamel beat Rosario. And the thing about this, I was told by somebody that what Teofimo did was more significant than what Jamel and Errol win. Think about this though. Say you got Teofimo to beat Lomachenko once. You say, okay, but then say, have a car accident and bring him back and do it again. Right?
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah,
so that's a dumbass. Have a car accident, almost die in a car accident, bring him back and do it again.
At the elite level, not just...
That's what I did.
Yeah.
So think about it. So it's an asinine idea that what... I don't care about any of that. But like I said, I train for training camp. I move around, bounce around, slipping punches. What they do is hold some... They don't do what I do.
Care about it, but obviously you feel like you are getting your just due as far as the trainer, being a great trainer, not just the trainer.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think like this. I just want to be consistent. I want to be able to be what my guys need me to be when they need me to be that guy. I mean, it's dope to get accolades from, WBA, WBC, and Trill Boxing, because you got to say, like, the smaller guys who really acknowledge the truth, and the bigger guys, whatever the case may be. But Sports Illustrated, yeah, I mean, possibly, because you can't. I just told you what.
Right.
Let him have a car accident and then do it again.
I mean, I guess the same thing could be said if you want to bring up like the pound for pound list, right?
Jamel's not on it.
It's very subjective, but it seems like maybe Jamel doesn't get his just due. He's unified champion, fighting for undisputed.
Right.
Like we said, it'll be the first time in the 154-pound division where somebody wins all 4 belts. Obviously, he has to go get the job done. But I mean, what do you think needs to change in order for that?
I think that if you look at it like this, Jamel, funny thing about it, that it's all subjective. But Jamel beat the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy. He beat the guy that beat Heard, that beat
Delineo.
Right, he beat the guys. So for him not to be considered that is kind of funny. And the level of opposition he's faced on the way here, all number 1 contenders or the guys who was the champ, Rosario was the champ. And even Tommy Harris was hey, think about this, Tony Harris was Heard, got tired. Right? He comes back, he's a great fighter. Disputed decision, whatever. And Jamel beats him the second time. So I think that this will cement and stamp everything, because it's obvious that even though you're doing what you're doing, they don't have to acknowledge it, but you should keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, you brought up a great point as far as training Errol after the car accident. Right. That's something that... How'd you know what to do? You get what I'm saying? Because you've been training him all this time, but now you was in a different position.
He didn't go to therapy, so I was the therapist. He didn't go to therapy, so I had to ease him into it. The last time he was in the gym was going to fight Porter, right? But then he came back. The first day I got back, he was in the gym training. So if you look at it like this, right after that, you remember him being that guy who fought him that Saturday. He fought a hell of a fight. So you have to forget that altogether. Because you come in there and it's high pace, high energy, you got to ease like an inchworm. Every day, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes on the mitts. Not rounds, like not 30 minutes straight, not any of that. And you have to just remember him and let him start to remember who he is and what his potential is and what his abilities are. So it's a process. Every day we talk more on the phone, and it was just all about just building him up, man. Building him up from an intellectual perspective and getting back to who he was before.
Do you feel that maybe the pandemic was a blessing in disguise in the sense of giving him that time? Because realistically, he probably wouldn't have fought, even without the car accident, he probably wouldn't have fought before when the pandemic happened. So having that time to kind of get back into things, do you feel like that was almost like a blessing in disguise?
It's beautiful because it helped, because everybody was stagnant. Everybody was at a standstill. And I think that all that whole time we was training, we started training at the beginning of March, like middle of March, until when we fought. So you think about all those months, easing. They set a date, then you have a date. So you working. He says, I'm going to fight this guy in particular. People are like, what are you fighting this guy for? This guy, he's tough with everybody. But it's like, he knows who he is. He believes in himself. He believed in me, obviously. And that was a fight that even bonded us even more, because what we had to go through to get to that point, that day of the fight, that night of the fight, hey man, then for him to say, really, he said, I feel like I was 40, he said 70%. I think it's 40 or 50%. So, yeah.
Do you think he'll be at 100 for this one? Or at least...
He better be.
I mean, what do you think he's at now, like, realistically?
I think that he's still about like 75, 80%. He's getting there. We still have what, 6 weeks, 5 weeks? So he's getting there. Every day is a day to get better.
Constantino Garcia here for Little Giant Boxing. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow me on social media at Constantino Garcia.